Hi everybody and welcome to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
You can find it at optimusprimecast.com.
I'm Dale.
I'm Eric.
And this is the Retrospective Podcast where we are watching all of the episodes of Transformers Beast Wars and then talking about them.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
This week we are on episode number 4.
Equal Measures, which was written by
Greg Johnson.
And directed by T.W. Peacock.
We haven't seen any of either of their work yet.
I don't believe so.
I think that these are new names. I like them.
I mean, the names themselves, they're great names. Sure.
They didn't do bad work. You had a subtitle, an extra subtitle for this episode?
This episode, Equal Measures, semicolon, or colon, Terrorsaur's really awful, horrible, bad day. Yeah, it's just, it's just horrible.
Well, let me start off with a plot summary. Alright, so the Maximals try to place a Predacon detection system during an Energon storm, and Cheetor somehow ends up in the Darksyde, while Terrorsaur ends up in the Axelon.
Ooh.
Using Terrorsaur to discover how the transportation occurred, Dinobot goes to Optimus to plan to beam the bomb to the Predacon base. Meanwhile, Cheetor discovers an Energon vein running between both bases.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh... with hilarious results.
Yeah, I honestly did not really enjoy this episode.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so it opens up with Prime, I guess, taking measurements, and you see
he's out there surveying.
Yeah,
out there surveying, and
an ill wind.
An ill wind blows the top off of an energon-filled mountain.
Lightning strike actually does.
Oh,
but
okay.
An ill wind is blowing through.
Yeah.
I guess Prime took his lessons from H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Describe what was going on.
He's using antiquated euphemisms. That's how he does it.
Prime.
That's just Prime.
That's just Prime.
Well, that's just Prime.
So yeah. So he's canceling the mission. He's saying, let's put this off until the weather's good.
Like the plan.
But we don't know what the plan is yet.
Yeah, we don't know
go
what
back
the
to
plan
base
is.
to find out what it is.
Yeah, they get back to the base. Everyone's going, oh, well, what's up with Prime? And they're fighting over this bomb and the process of getting this all situated.
Cheetor is bumbling.
Yeah, Cheetor is bumbling, knocking stuff over.
Or bumblebeeing.
Bumblebeeing. Rhinox is making the final touches on these antenna arrays.
Mm-hmm.
And basically a fight kind of breaks out between Dinobot and Cheetor because Dinobot kind of thinks that he is inept at what he's doing. Basically, both of them get into a struggle, almost blow each other up because they knock over the bomb, and Prime just happens to catch it while he's coming up in the elevator.
That's because he's fancy.
That's what happens when you're cool. But yeah, so Prime's like, nope, we're scrubbing the mission.
That is the word that he said, right?
He says we're scrubbing the mission. Basically, I guess what the mission was is to set up this detection network and then wait for all the Predacons to leave their ship and then wait for an airplane to pass over.
Is that really what it was? Yeah, was that what was going on? They wanted to get the Predacons out of the base and then destroy the base.
And then destroy the base. So they had no resources or anything else like that. So, but
this is the first time in the series that either base is named.
Is it?
Yeah, I think. I don't remember the word Axelon or Darksyde.
I don't.
And when in a few minutes we'll get to Terrorsaur welcoming Cheetor to the Darksyde.
I did not know that was the name.
It's with a Y.
Oh, okay.
Darksyde with a Y.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to that. So he scrubs the mission, and
Cheetor's bummed because he thinks he could still do it because he's so fast.
Yeah, he's faster than.
He can outrun anything that this guy's going to throw at him,
yes.
Which he quickly disproves when he disobeys orders.
Because this guy throws him a couple things.
Best conversation of the episode happens in this little bit.
Well, after Prime says no, basically tells everyone to go off and I guess do cleanup work. Keep yourself busy.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetor goes and pouts in his quarters, basically, and Dinobot comes to visit him.
But before then, Dinobot has a great exchange with Prime. Well, Primal, whatever.
Yeah, well...
Because what he's talking about with Optimus, he's saying, I don't see why you want, since the storm is happening right now, if we go and blow them up right now, we can take out their base and destroy them. The war is over.
Mm-hmm. This is what you wanted. This is what they're going to do to us, right?
Yeah, if the roles were reversed, this is what would happen. Mm-hmm. Megatron would come, destroy. Well, actually, what it was that Primal's objective is to destroy the base to weaken the Predacons to force them into submission so that they could end the war. And Dinobot says, just blow it all up. It could all blow up all at the same time. That would end the war. And he says that's what Megatron would do if the roles were reversed.
Yeah, I mean, to Dinobot's credit, I mean, you heard it right from Megatron's mouth to begin, in the first episode, where he's like, "Oh no, we weren't at peace. We were just biding our time, waiting for our opportunity." So, I mean, Dinobot saying, this would bring us peace if we basically kill off all of them and destroy them all. Then, I mean, he is correct. What Optimus wants to do is, destroy the base, get them into submission, and then take them into custody, and then get back to,
status quo.
Yeah, wherever. And but that's just basically going to prolong this thing even further because it's going to happen again or whatever.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Optimus Primal is not going to be pessimistic about that. He wants that peace back.
Yes.
And honestly, like as far as we could tell, Cybertron is not currently in civil war.
No,
Cybertron is not currently under a state of civil war.
From what I could get from this series so far is that Cybertron is at peace. Megatron's team and ship and everything, that was like the first step to launch a war. That was the first, step into civil war.
Yeah, so there's like 5 of them right now. Yeah. There were 6, now there's 5. So there really is hope for peace. If you just have these criminals put into custody, that would end this conflict, and they could go back to doing what they were doing to begin with. The struggle here, though, is they're on an alien planet. They don't know where they are. They have limited resources, and Dinobot and Optimus are fighting over whether it's more important to win the war or to be a Maximal. Because the Maximals care about life, period.
Yeah.
And the Predacons do not. They care about winning.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I didn't really enjoy this episode is just that there just did not seem to be any real dynamic between the characters. It was, Dinobot being typical Dinobot Predacon, this is what we do, we destroy them, and Primal, of course, is like, no, this is not what we do, we gotta be better than them, blah, blah, blah. Sure.
It's early in the series, it's four episodes in, everybody, we gotta hammer in those archetypes.
I know.
Cheetor is reckless and stupid. Rhinox and Rat Trap are sitting in the back. They don't want to deal with the conflict at all. They're kind of staying out of anything that's going to cause a fight, doing technical work and support work. Dinobot, Cheetor, and Primal are doing the tactical stuff.
Yeah, but Prime puts an end to it, and Dinobot figures. I mean, typical Dinobot. Here we go. Decides that he's going to kind of take things in his own hands, kind of like he did with the laser eyes, trying to shoot people down when he shouldn't. It's going to end up it's going to blow up in his face again. In any case, so he goes and meets up with Cheetor. And he
manipulates him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know you could totally do this. Prime doesn't have any confidence in you. You are the fastest thing on 4 legs.
Yeah. So now we have to ask, though, we're still questioning Dinobot's real allegiance. Or at least his motives.
Yeah.
How much faith can we put in Dinobot? Because right now, he's lying to Cheetor.
Well, yeah,
but he's trying to advance goals. He's like forcing his own leadership position.
Yeah, he is forcing his own leadership. He is manipulating Cheetor, but I don't know if you could really kind of fault him for what he is doing, because in the long run, he is basically acting on what he would believe is the right thing to do, the correct thing to do. Like, I mean, he doesn't agree with Prime's means to the end, but he knows what the end game is supposed to be. So rather than, wait and, possibly prolong this conflict any further, I mean, he figures this is a quick, easy solution to take care of this here and now. We could end this. We could all go home. So, I mean, he's
got a point.
Yeah, he does. He does have a point. And I can't really fault him so much for doing that, but it's just so typical. It's like a typical ex-bad guy coming to the good guy's side, manipulating the good guy who is like kind of, naive into thinking that he could do this, and then it just kind of balloons from there. In any case. So
Cheetor says fine. He's like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
He steals the antenna apparatuses.
Apparati?
Whatever. And he he doesn't have the bomb.
No,
he's just going to set up these antenna. and he's trying to outrace this storm, and he is failing.
Yes.
He's hit by lightning like 3 times, right?
Yes. He's hit by lightning, he gets knocked over, and he's like, what are you trying to do? Scare me?
Yeah, he's shouting to the heavens in defiance.
Like Lieutenant Dan. Is that all you got?
And he's still... so he gets hit by lightning like 3 times. There's energon everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's always hanging off of a cliff.
Well, he does... while he's setting up these antennas, like, he gets knocked down and he starts running over. There's this gorge, basically. This big gaping
Springfield
chasm.
Gorge.
Yeah, where he jumps over it, much like,
Bart Simpson
or Homer trying to. And, he just makes it, of course. Crawls over and goes to set the next
He loses
thing of
the
energon.
thing. He loses the antenna.
Because
Because
he gets struck by lightning
again.
It flies out and it lands into a vein of energon.
Fault line.
Yeah.
In a fault line, opening up a new chasm.
Yeah, so things aren't good. He starts grabbing at it, trying to pull out, like, oh god, oh no.
Yeah, and then he turns into like it turns into a Three Stooges thing with Curly trying to fight.
Shadow boxing the thing.
Yeah, he's literally
prepping.
shadow boxing.
Yeah.
It's totally a Three Stooges.
Trying to pull
callback.
this thing out because it keeps on shocking him because it's
Oh,
stuck in
wise
energon
guy,
in the
eh?
middle of the storm. Yeah, middle of the storm. So he's pulling on, and then all of a sudden, big surge of energy, and he gets transported
into the telephone.
Yeah, the
in
communications.
the Darksyde. But before this, Terrorsaur sees the quote unquote maximal signal on his
communication screen.
his communication screen. But it is of course, Predacon logo for no good reason
which doesn't
whatsoever.
make any sense. It kind of throws more questions in regards to why certain people on certain sides or factions have different insignia on them that don't belong.
You can read into it because Cheetor is not good at following maximal orders. He's much more impetuous. He would make a good Predacon, but that doesn't mean make his signal.
Well, I mean, I even did a little bit of research on insignias and stuff like that, and the insignia that is on Cheetor's head is more reminiscent of the Beast Machine's maximal logo than it is closer to the maximal logo now from Beast Wars. In any case, so he gets transported over into the base, which doesn't make any sense because I mean it's on this antenna array. Okay, so he gets transported over in the communications array. No big deal. This is the beginning of Terrorsaur's really bad day.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, what is this? I think I see something on the radar. No, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's
the storm messing with the signal.
I should have known nothing would be going on.
What was that noise?
Oh,
it's just a shadow.
It's just a box. So yeah, then Cheetor shows up on his console, and Terrorsaur has him, and then Terrorsaur doesn't have him because of reasons.
Because of reasons. Well, they have
a little scuffle.
The beginning of that scuffle was adorable though. When Terrorsaur says "Terrorsaur, terrorize," and then Cheetor says "Maximize," and then he realizes that he already did.
There was also a point where
where
Terrorsaur says, "Welcome to the Darksyde."
Yes, he says, "Welcome to the Darksyde."
Yeah,
which has 2 meanings, of course.
It's like I thought of oh, funny, Star Wars reference. Oh, yeah, funny, Darksyde because they're Predacons.
But it would have been better if we knew that the goddamn ship was called the Darksyde.
Darksyde,
which we know now. When we can use that from now on.
Yeah.
How did Terrorsaur end up getting stuck to his own console? Is it just during their fight?
Yeah, during their fight, he ends up leaping towards Cheetor, and Cheetor kind of dashes away
because he's too fast.
And
then
he gets
Terrorsaur gets stuck in the comm link and gets sent to the maximal base.
Yes, he gets sent back to the maximal base. Actually, before that, while they were kind of going back and forth, they were shooting for a while, and Terrorsaur was like, "Nah, not so fast, kitty. I got you now." And Cheetor is like, "Well, you just wait until I get into shape." Pun, ha, joke, yeah. But when I heard that, it's like I really saw it going a different way. It's like, Terrorsaur going, "You're not so fast after all, huh?" And then Cheetor's like, just wait until I get into shape, because I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Terrorsaur's like, well,
my character is still developing.
I'm sorry, I didn't really mean it. And Cheetor's like, no, it's okay. I know I have a weight problem. I'm just, I'm working on it. I really could, as soon as I get into some shape, I know I'm a lot faster than this. And then Terrorsaur's back again, no, I mean, honestly, I didn't mean it at all. I was just trying to be mean and trying to be clever. I got you, but and that's how that all played out in my head because this story is so bad. So Terrorsaur gets transported. There's a fight. Terrorsaur falls back onto the console, gets transported over to the Maximal base.
And the Waspinator and Scorponok come and
pick up the chase.
Start chasing Cheetor through the air ducts.
The air ducts.
Yeah, through the air ducts. Tom Jones reference. Random Tom Jones reference. What kid in the late 90s is going to be like, when Cheetor says, "What's new, Pussycat?"
Yeah.
Which kid is going to go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa"?
Well, I mean, we did.
Okay, I did, but okay.
I did in my head, too. I was like, I wanted to... Yeah, it's just... No. Roll out, Dale.
Okay.
Let it go.
All right. Moving to the Axelon?
Moving to, yes, the
We're
Axelon.
on the Axelon. Terrorsaur's on the Axelon.
Yeah.
And Terrorsaur shows up right in front of Dinobot.
Yeah, and he shows up in Dinobot. And the weird thing is that what I don't understand is how come Dinobot... Whenever Dinobot walks around, there is... physical noise and camera shake that is added to every step that he takes.
Because he's a dinosaur, duh.
Yeah, but nobody else does.
He's a dinosaur.
Rhinox is just as big as...
He's light on his feet. He has padded feet.
All right, we'll go to the internet and see, who has a softer footfall, a rhinoceros or a velociraptor.
I know, velociraptors aren't actually that big. They're only like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Which is huge for a freaking lizard.
Well, yeah.
But they might not be, we can sneak around. We're like 6 feet tall.
So, anyway, Terrorsaur gets picked up by Dinobot, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And grabs him by the head and everything, and Terrorsaur is like, "Whoa, wait. We could form an alliance."
Mm-hmm. That was Dinobot's idea. He says, "So what you're telling me is that the telephone is now a doorway between our mixed metaphors." And then Terrorsaur says yes, and he says, "Well,
I can
maybe
tell
we
you
should
exactly how it goes."
Yeah, so maybe we should parlay about this, and then we can destroy the Maximals and rule over the Predacons with an iron fist.
Both of us together.
So now
holding
here,
hands, skipping and singing songs into the sunset.
And then they fist bump. So now we're questioning Dinobot's allegiance again. So first he's lying.
It's a double cross.
Yeah. So he's lying to he's arguing with Optimus Primal. He's lying to Cheetor, and now he is gonna have a nice talk with Terrorsaur.
Just a little chat. Mm-hmm. A little heart to heart.
Yep. New development. Now is Terrorsaur our Starscream?
I don't know. I mean, he's a flying character.
Yep, flying character.
He's
red.
a bit squirrely.
Yeah, squirrely guy.
Squirrely guy.
Yeah.
Not all that bright.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And his plan backfired.
So
maybe he's our new Starscream. Maybe are we going to see him be treacherous for the rest of the series?
I don't know. I still, not getting into this, I still think that Dinobot is still a pretty solid character for the Starscream role, but not in a traditional Starscream Megatron sense. But the, Starscream Optimus Prime sense? Whatever, it works. In any case. So Dinobot strikes this allegiance, or this truce. Start talking strategy and how exactly this transporter thing works. And they're walking through the Maximal base.
And you got to wonder, how long was this conversation? Because seriously, it was like, I landed on the telephone and I ended up here.
Yeah.
And then Dinobot says, "So you're saying you landed on the telephone and you ended up here?"
I butt dialed
you. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
And he's like, "Okay."
And then the triple cross.
The triple cross.
Dinobot is dinobolical.
Dinobolical. Oh god, that's so horrible.
It was cute though, for Dinobot being as violent and an annihilating character as he is.
Yeah.
He just sticks Terrorsaur in the garbage.
Yeah, in the garbage chute, I guess, and
then fires
shoots him out of the garbage chute, which. Yeah, funny, alright, okay, here goes. And then there was this very satisfying thud.
It was a great thud.
It was a great thud.
It was a very, very Wile E. Coyote hitting the bottom of the...
And it wasn't just like a thud, it was typical Looney Tunes. Noise, kind of screaming, quiet, silence for 2 seconds, and then a very quiet, very pronounced thud.
Yeah.
It was beautifully orchestrated. That thud was probably the best part of this entire episode.
It was good direction.
Okay writing. All right, directing. So mad props to T.W. Peacock. So we cut back to the Darksyde with a Y.
Yep, we're at the Darksyde. Cheetor has, seriously, it's a good action scene. It was good action for what we've had. You know, it was an intense chase.
Okay.
The Scorponok has some very, very smart missiles. And some very dumb missiles.
Yeah.
He has some missiles that go up and make a right angle turn in the air.
He has a very stereotypical Metal Gear Solid Nikita missiles.
Yeah, radio controlled.
Radio controlled Nikita
and they're
missiles.
just going through.
But
and we finally see where the footage of Cheetor running from fire is from
the opening credits.
Yeah, from the credits. So that's cool. I like it when they get to see where the
yeah. I mean
footage
that's
comes from.
nice. I mean it is a nice little touch. But I mean they're chasing him through the vents. Waspinator is shooting the vents in one direction, just basically inching away every 3 feet or whatever, shooting up through it, and then Cheetor's running that way, obviously. And then Scorponok goes and uses his, I guess, thermal vision or something, and sees through the air vent, or air duct, to see Cheetor coming his way. He's like, oh, I got him, and he's going to shoot a missile through the vents. So he does. So he shoots a big missile through the vent. How this missile doesn't explode on impact as it hit the vent is unbeknownst to me.
He didn't have it armed until it was in the vent. Duh.
it pops up, pauses, does a right angle, looks around a little bit like in Looney Tunes, and then starts chasing after
Then starts
him.
chasing. Now it's armed.
So
It doesn't hit anything to get it to explode, though, does it?
no,
Or does one of Waspinator's...
I think one of Waspinator's shots blows that up. But yeah, Cheetor runs away from this huge explosion caused by Scorponok's, missile. It's a miracle that the vents themselves didn't explode or get destroyed.
A
But
directional explosion.
yeah, I mean, sure, I'll roll out on that. So he's running away, and he's out. He's racing against this fireball. Now, everything that we've been seeing up to this point has been Cheetor explaining how fast he is when he's in cheetah form. Even earlier on in this episode, just wait until I get into shape, explaining that he's much faster in his cheetah form, in his beast form, than he is in his mech form. So what does he do while he's trying to outrun this thing? He transforms into robot form. He maximizes and gets blown out the vent on the one end and gets captured, basically.
He doesn't get captured yet, does he? Because he has to discover. He discovers the vein, which is really the crux of the plot here.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
convenient computer is convenient.
Yes.
Convenient map is convenient.
So he finds out that the same vein of raw energon is running underneath the Maximal base and under the Darksyde.
So if they blow one up, they're both going.
They're both going to blow. At this same time, okay, and then he discovers that, copies the data to a disk.
And then
we cut to
Scorponok and Waspinator find him again.
Yeah. And at the same time, Dinobot is talking to Optimus Primal about where Cheetor might be.
Yeah, Dinobot's like, oh, Prime, it's so sad. See, Cheetor went ahead because he's a fool and went and started implanting his antennae. In the storm, it shocked him, and I intercepted a communique from the Predacons saying that he ended up in their base. It's like, okay.
So now he's lying again.
Yeah, he's lying.
Not only lying to cover his own ass,
yeah,
but he's also lying about Terrorsaur showing up.
Yeah, and not only that, like Prime outright buys it. Like, I mean, other than the one point where Terrorsaur is like, "Oh, he's obviously dead. Don't bother checking or looking at the records of the transmission. Just take my word for it." So, like, Prime shouts out a no, a very determined no.
Oh yeah, they broke Bumblebee,
which is funny. And he's like, okay, but Prime shouldn't be buying it. I mean, he's
overly credulous.
The storm has interrupted or prevented them from communicating with themselves, let alone Dinobot, even in this, ill-winded storm, being able to intercept a enemy transmission, be able to decode that, and then relay that information to Prime. Besides, like, if all of the Predacons were at their base, where would the transmission be going to?
Well, if you're going to think about it. If you're going to go thinking about it.
Damn me and my thinking. In any case, so he's
caught up in the Bumblebee's dead story.
He convinces Prime to set us up the bomb.
Yeah, they set us up the bomb. And all your base.
He sets us up the bomb and convinces him to send it over to him. And Prime's still like, ho. When we set this off, are they going to have time to escape? And he's like, yeah, I set it for 30 seconds. Like, anymore, they'll be able to disarm it.
Mm-hmm.
He said it just like that. But yeah, so, like, okay. So they go about doing that. Cheetor finally gets back to the council after escaping from... sorry.
Waspinator and Scorponok. Well, it's really all simultaneous because his
definitely...
disc sends... He drops the disc on the console, and the disc disappears, and the bomb appears.
Yeah, and then immediately anchors itself to the console.
Yeah, so now the Maximals have 30 seconds to put this disc into a computer, read it, discover that this van of energon is flowing in between it.
Well, yeah, and figure out what exactly this data is.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Mm-hmm. Is this pictures? This is a weird thing to kind of fall on a console. Does this mean anything? Like, what is this even? Okay, it's just a disc. Okay, I'll just put this over here and leave it be, right? No, that doesn't happen. No, because Optimus Primal smells
Cheetor,
Cheetor. It has his scent. Like, seriously?
It stinks of the kitty. So, but that's the thing. Like, so now
apes are renowned for their sense of smell.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Spend all that time in their own feces.
Maybe.
Gotta wonder. So, but that means that they're more. They still are even more biological than we would assume on the outset.
So.
And now at the same time, Cheetor is now confronted with Megatron himself.
Yep, and Terrorsaur. Actually, Terrorsaur brings Megatron over there and says, I got him! Look at here! I got him!
Mm-hmm.
I told you! It's all true! Everything that I said!
But now they have to deal with this bomb. They have no time. Scorponok is going to go disarm it. But he sees that there's only... Not Scorponok?
Nope.
Was it Terrorsaur?
It was Terrorsaur.
Was Terrorsaur doing
Poor
it? Poor
old Terrorsaur.
He does have a bad day.
Yeah, he has a very bad day. So he had a bad day. He took one down. He tried to turn it around and got something in his eye. I don't know how that song goes. In any case. So, you had a bad day, taking one down. Anyway, so...
My lovely fiancée is choking on her cigarette now because she loves that reference. She's like, I know that reference! I love this podcast! Your show is awesome!
Kill me now. We're all gonna die! Terrorsaur opens it up. And Cheetor's like, no, let me at it. You're not going to be able to disarm it. And you only got 30 seconds or whatever. And Terrorsaur's like, yes, it's true. Mm-hmm. And he's like, let me at it. And Megatron's like, all right, fine, go ahead. So, Bumblebee, yeah. Yeah, Cheetor decides
goes in there. He doesn't disarm it, though.
No, he's talking to the bomb, saying, oh, you remember me, Mr. Bumblefingers?
Yeah, Fumblefingers.
I thought he said Bumblefingers.
Maybe.
In any case, his finger's like going like 80 miles an hour. It's like, okay, are you nervous? Is that a nervous switch?
Or is that just you working really fast?
Should you really be
because you're a cheetah
being in there? Because if you're jittering that much, you need surgeon's hands in order to do that type of intricate cutting.
Unless you know which wire to cut, but he only knows which wire to cut to get it loose.
And on top of which, it's explained that it's a quasar circuit malfunction. Now. What's up with all these quasar malfunctions and jams? It was a quasar jam when his gun failed. It's a quasar circuit when the
well, I guess that's apparently what their weapons shoot.
I don't know. In any case, so he's able to get it off.
Yeah, he gets it off, and then they throw it to Terrorsaur, who flies up.
Flies it up, and then lets it go with like 1 second to go. And he gets maybe about 40 feet away from it, and the thing explodes huge.
And gets him right in the dino butt.
Yeah. This podcast is in loving memory of Terrorsaur. He gave his life going above and beyond the call of duty. He'll always be remembered. Yep. Poor guy.
Until the very next episode when he comes back.
No, until the end of the episode where he ends up falling from the sky and landing on the console.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does come back after because Cheetor runs away.
Well,
because Megatron's going to deal with him now.
Not quite. Yeah, the bomb gets thrown up there, it explodes or whatever. Megatron's going to deal with Cheetor. Cheetor goes like, backing away. Conveniently lands on the console or jumps on the console. And then gets transported over there. Megatron's already in the process of firing and destroys the console.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Bye-bye teleporter.
Yeah, Cheetor gets back to the Maximal
He destroys the console, and then Terrorsaur lands on it.
The surge of the console destroying on the one end destroys all the antenna arrays in succession.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was Cheetor's... Oh, maybe it was that. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
In any case, everything's all happy and with a nice wrap-up that's reminiscent of a Full House ending.
Pretty much. They find out that both Dinobot and Optimus Primal had the wrong idea of blowing up the Predacon base at all. If they blew up the Darksyde with or without Predacons in it, everybody would have died.
Everybody would have died. Or just they would have died, because the Predacons would have been able to evacuate their base, because conveniently, Optimus Primal gave them 30 seconds to evacuate versus blowing it up right away. But the Maximals would be dead because, well, they wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. So that would happen. Everybody almost died, and everybody has a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I loved. I was like, Rhinox and Rat Trap. Shouldn't Rat Trap have lost his mind on everybody?
Yeah. It's, I don't know.
But either way, we're showing that both Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal and Dinobot were both wrong in what they were doing, and they all learned a lesson, except for Cheetor. Because he says, I hope you learned your lesson, Cheetor. I mean, even though it worked out this way.
Better not do it again. I'll have your butt in a sling.
Yeah, your tail in a sling. He says, I won't do it again. Until next time. And then they laughed and laughed.
Our Cheetor. Oh, God.
So that was the episode. You didn't like it?
No, I didn't. It was too cheesy, too predictable. The only good moments, and I think this episode should be more focus on Terrorsaur.
Yeah.
Like, as a dark comedy on the unfortunate life of Terrorsaur, it's a great episode. Because, I mean, you see all of these things. Terrorsaur only wants to do good.
For Terrorsaur.
Well, yeah. I mean, he only wants to do good. He wants to be able to do these things. He wants to be able to show something nice to whomever is watching. Like, here, I did this. Can you look? I caught him.
Approve of me.
I have,
Yeah, Terrorsaur has father issues.
Trying. All he's doing is trying the entire episode. And, it doesn't pay off. He gets betrayed by Dinobot. He's not looked after or cared for, like whatever. He gets blown up and Megatron finds him and all these other things. It's like, no, see, I was telling the truth.
Isn't it odd, though? And Terrorsaur, in the whole episode, is telling more truth than Dinobot. A Predacon is doing more right things than a Maximal at this point. So I think that when you look at it, you're seeing some blurred lines. Cheetor doesn't follow orders. Dinobot is a loose cannon who's manipulative and willing to lie. And then on the other hand, you have Terrorsaur, who's doing his thing. He's doing the right thing and trying to do his best to follow orders and execute his mission, except when he wants to betray Megatron.
Yeah,
but I mean, but the thing is that there's
he's trying to do right by the Predacons.
Yeah,
and what his faction. Yeah, and I can also agree with him, and a lot of other people do that. And let's face it, Dinobot does have a point of Megatron's tactics. Like he isn't really. He's more interested in the drama of the play versus the outcome. So, of course, why not? Terrorsaur actually has a very solid hey. Between you and I, we would be able to run everything very well. I'll be your guy. Come on. And he totally gets blown for that. He's blown away, man. He gets tossed away like some garbage, literally.
But this is the type of thing, even though it might have not been, it wasn't a super deep episode, but the fact that you can't really predict exactly how characters on either side of this war are going to behave. Things are gray. Things are not black and white, and the and the fact that it's character driven. If this was an episode of G.I. Joe, you'd imagine just blue lasers and red lasers. Everybody on one side would be shooting at everybody on the other side.
Yeah.
But here we have actual interactions. People talk about that. Well, bots talk about things, and they. There's something to it that is more than the black and white.
More than meets the eye? Is that what you're trying to say? There's more to it than meets the eye?
Yes, there is more. Yes. That's the thing that I'm saying. So that's this episode.
Yeah, that's this episode. I've been Eric.
I've been Dale. And you're listening to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
That you can find at optimusprimecast.com.
See you next week.
Yep.